Everyone knows or has at least heard of the Georges River that flows throughout New South Wales. But what's its history? Why is it called the Georges River? Who's George and why is it his river? Let's go back about over 200 years ago. So we all know the story. The Europeans come, the Aboriginals were already there, there's a whole lot of conflict, you get my context. But what I'm sure you don't know is the small details, specifically in regards to the infamous Georges River. Back in those days it was, and still is by some Indigenous Australians, referred to as Kiama. It was part of the Dharawal Nation and the Bidjigal clan. The river was also commonly referred to as Takura. Some tricky words, I know. The river offered food, transport and dreamtime links for the Aboriginal people living within the parklands. The Georges River was actually the second port of call for colonisers when discovering Australia. The Aboriginal inhabitants obviously weren't too happy about this, and I quote, "Philip Gidley King's party exploring along the reaches of the Georges River was threatened with spears streaking down from a high hill." I mean, it is their land. Evidence of the Dharawal people have surfaced over time and knowledge of their interaction and relationship with the land has increased. The 1950s was a turbulent time for the Dharawal community. Economic and governmental interventions led to the forced removal and displacement of the Aboriginals from the Georges River parklands. Now, back to who George is and why it's his river. Well, it wasn't actually his river. Let me explain. Since the British colonised Australia and basically thought they could do whatever they wanted, they renamed the former known Kiowa and named it after King George III, the reigning king at the time. Pretty interesting, hey? So then what? Now let's fast forward to today. The Georges River flows from Appin through to Botany Bay. It covers an area of about 960 kilometres squared with over 1 million people living within its catchment area. The Bidjigal clan of the Dharawal Nation initially sustained what went on to be one of the most well-known rivers of New South Wales. Their connection with this river is patently strong and the origins of the Georges River should definitely be more recognised. Those now living within the Georges River catchment have the Indigenous Australians who established the land to acknowledge and thank.
Created using Powtoon.